What is going on, Giants fans? Welcome back to another episode of Bet the Over. I'm your host, Kevin Bowe, and what I have learned in my probably 10 years of truly supporting the New York Giants, it's that we cannot have nice things because this whole offseason was going great. We signed a all-pro Hall of Fame head coach, winning seasons, 14 out of 17 winning seasons. They had a great free agency. They signed some great players, good deals, good steals. We got Jermaine Illuminor, Isaiah Likely, and bam, April 6, 2026, bombshell dropped on the New York Giants. Dexter Lawrence, three-time All-Pro, heart and soul of the defense, has officially requested a trade. So in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down the scenarios I think will probably happen, best case, worst case, and all that good stuff. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe for weekly New York Giants updates and videos. So let's get right into it. All right, welcome back. So, as you all know by the intro, Dexter Lawrence officially requested a trade today after 2 years supposedly of offseason not signing contracts. So he signed an extension in 2023, and he was supposedly requesting a new contract last offseason, 2 off seasons ago, and now today was the day where he finally decided he was going to draw the line and not attend any OTAs, any mini camps, and no preseason until he gets his extension and his money. So, what does this mean for the defense? As we all know, he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. I'll pull up a couple PFF stats. So he was ranked 9th out of 134 defensive tackles in the league. His pass rush grade was like 7th out of 134, and his run stopping was kind of middle of the pack. However, he does get double teamed on 64% of his pass rushes. So what that means is obviously two people are blocking him, but that kind of frees up everyone else on the defense. You have Brian Burns, who's coming off one of his best seasons as a defensive end. He had 18 sacks, I think, or 17 sacks. He had the second most sacks in the NFL. That's probably because Dexter Lawrence is getting double teamed. Abdul Carter had the most pressures out of any rookie in the NFL. That's probably because Dexter Lawrence is getting double teamed every play. So even when he has an off year, which he definitely had this past year, you can contribute that maybe injuries, or you can contribute it to him being fed up and kind of not playing his hardest. I said it in a couple videos that it did look like Dexter Lawrence was not giving his 100%. I thought it was just injuries, but you could kind of tell he wasn't all in like he has been this past, I mean, not any season besides this one. When he's on the field and he's motivated, he's pushing guys back. He's running after every play. There's no stopping him. He's 350 pounds. He's quick. He's ginormous. He's like 6'6", and there's truly no stopping this man when he's motivated. But this past year, even single centers, like single blocking, would stop him, which was completely mind-boggling because his whole career he looked completely unstoppable. So a lot of people are saying this kind of came out of the blue. I did see it coming, not in this sense, but you could see he was definitely frustrated, and I did think it was the injury, but as shown today, it's definitely more than just his injuries and everything. He probably just feels like he's putting in all this work and he has so much success on defense, yet he has nothing to show for it because the Giants miss the playoffs every year besides 2022, that fluke season, which actually probably set them back, and he's done. So I think the most likely scenario is, even though he did request the trade today, I don't think they're going to trade him. I think they might extend him this offseason. They would have to clear some cap and restructure a couple of the guys' contract because they are pretty low on cap right now. If they do restructure, they could probably give him a good contract because I know next year they do have a lot of cap room. Another case scenario is he ends up playing, even though he says he's not going to do it, under his current contract, and he plays out the rest of the year or the OTAs, mini camps, gets into the season, dominates, balls out, and then they extend him either next year or when he actually is due for an extension in 2028. Um, or the last case scenario, which I know a lot of Giants fans would be upset about, would be trading him. Um, I don't think this is going to happen, but we've seen stranger things. If the Giants were to trade Dexter Lawrence, they would get an absolute bag for him. He's a 28-year-old, I think, best defensive tackle in the league. You could say second best behind, I think, Chris Jones on the Chiefs, but I'm a little biased. I'm obviously a Giants fan. I think he's the best. He's the best pure pass rushing defensive tackle, which is pretty rare because typically defensive tackles are more for stopping the run. I think Jones is a little bit better at stopping the run, but strictly pass rushing, Dexter Lawrence, I think, is better. This past year, he didn't have his best year. He actually had 0 sacks, which was completely shocking. Even an injured Dexter Lawrence, I would expect to get a couple sacks. So it's kind of a weird time for him to be requesting a trade because this is kind of when his value has ever been its lowest. If he did it last offseason, he'd be coming off a phenomenal season 2 years ago. I mean, but he just got extended in 2023. So his leverage is a little bit lower, but I don't think he's kind of on a decline in his career. I think it's just his lack of motivation and his injury that led to him having kind of a poor season. Let me know down below what you guys think. So, what I think the trade value would be for him. There was a report by Connor Hughes, who is one of the most reliable sources for the Jets and the Giants. They said it would kind of be like a Quentin Williams trade the Cowboys produced this past offseason, this offseason, or was it during the season? Anyway, it would be like around the first and the second round pick. I think Dexter Lawrence is better than Quentin Williams, so you could be looking at potentially 2 firsts. We got to see. You need someone else to want to trade 2 first round picks, which is a lot of value, or you could do kind of like a player swap, like the Titans and the Jets did this past offseason, where the Titans get Jermaine Johnson and the Jets got the defensive tackle. I'm forgetting his name right now, but they would definitely get a lot of value for this. I wouldn't want the Giants to trade Dexter Lawrence because, like I said, he's kind of the heart and soul of this defense. The fans all love him. If you go on any Giants page right now, every comment is pay the man, and it's just Dexter Lawrence memes. The sack dance, the sexy Dexy dance, like everyone loves him. He frees up the whole defense. And besides him at defensive tackle, who do the Giants really have? They have no one. They have Darius Alexander, who potentially could be good. He had an okay rookie season, nothing phenomenal. He did get better towards the end, so that's promising. But besides him, their defensive tackles are literally no names. I don't even know who else they have, honestly, because they have such little impact on this game. So if they were to trade him, they would need to get an absolute bag for him. Multiple picks, a first for sure, a second for sure, and maybe even a player or 2 firsts or a first and a very good defensive tackle to go along with that first round pick. So let me know down below what you guys think. I know this is kind of a crazy time for this to happen because, like I said, the Giants have had a great offseason. They had a lot of momentum and there was a lot of positivity in this locker room. And bam, he hits us with this, Dexter Lawrence. Like I said, I'm not panicking. I do think they'll figure something out. Maybe Harbaugh can whisper sweet nothings to him and kind of convince him to get him back on board and bring himself back mentally into the Giants organization. But it's going to be interesting. In John Harbaugh's first press conference, one of the first things he said was, we want guys that want to be here and play football. And it's evident now that Dexter Lawrence doesn't want to be here, or at least doesn't want to be here without making a lot of money. So like, comment, subscribe for weekly updates, videos. I'm probably going to be doing mock drafts moving forward. Subscribe, and remember, bet the over.